Gras floats. You are seeing some of them right here, but we have given the gator a facelift this year. He sparkles and shines more than ever before. The glitter, the amount of glitter on gator is enormous, and he is just beautiful, right? I'm gonna let Blake Broswell, our show director for the parade this year, talk about the new concept of a storyline that links all these new floats together. Also, we have exciting food and beverage items. Chef Ron is going to talk about that. We're celebrating carnivals all around the globe, right? We're also celebrating our partnership with Kern Studios, creating these one-of-a-kind Mardi Gras floats, not only for Universal Orlando, but for New Orleans and Mardi Gras parades around the world. So, I'm going to kick it off and give this microphone to Blake Broswell, the Creative Development Group Show Director for Mardi Gras 2020.
All right, let the good times roll, y'all. So I was very excited, obviously, because it's, we have our 25th celebration that we're doing for Mardi Gras. And so when we went down to New Orleans to go work with Kern Studios, start developing this idea of what we do for this year's theme, we knew it wanted to be about, we look at the party as, you get here, the park's amazing, and then you discover this Mardi Gras party is happening, right? You discover this treasure of a party. So that is why our theme this year is Treasure of the Deep. And the way that the parade will be lined out this year is we'll kind of bookend the parade with our traditional floats. So up front, you'll have our riverboat, our tidal float, our jester float, and then in the middle, you're going to have our Treasures of the Deep theme that you're going to be seeing. You're seeing 3 examples of those out here right now. 6 floats total. And this year went a little different. Instead of just doing a theme, trying to tell a little bit of a story too. Because of the Creative Development Group, of course, that's what we do. We're all storytellers. So the first float that you'll encounter as part of our theme for Treasure of the Deep is actually this the float over here. That's our treasure map float. And once you see the parade, you'll see that on this treasure map, you'll actually encounter all the things that are along the path. So this actually kind of sets you on your journey to go find the treasure. You'll see the different things that you'll encounter, like these purple kraken over here that's on the float, which is our next float that you would encounter along this journey, and that is our Creatures of the Deep float. Our Creatures of the Deep float is gorgeous. There's a lot of really great creatures that will be swarming around that float that you'll see. From there, we keep things underwater, and our next float is the Sunken city of Atlantis, which again allows us to have a lot of fun with the sort of treasures that you'll find there, those creatures. We've actually got the king and queen of Atlantis that'll be roaming there. And then, once you get past that, you go back out into the water, and you maybe have a bit of a shipwreck, and you end up over here with our shipwreck float, where there's all sorts of gold. And that's one thing you're going to notice, like with each float, is the treasures. They're kind of different pieces of those Mardi Gras colors, the purple, the green, the gold. And there's a lot of gold to be had here at our shipwreck float. And since this is, the treasures of the deep, people that kind of go after treasures are known to be a bit piratical from time to time. So there's pirates that are trying to get this treasure, which leads us to my next, and it's my favorite named float, and that is our Battle for the Booty float. That's right. And so here, you actually see we've started to gather some of this treasure, and now we've got these pirates who are going to battle it out and see who gets the treasure. And then from here, we start to head out toward, once you've got your Battle of the Booty, the treasure all gets collected at where? That's X marks the spot. And that'll be our final float that you'll see in the theme there. And of course, it's just loaded with all the treasures of Mardi Gras. But what's something that we learned on this treasure hunt? Guys, this hunt for the treasure, what we learned was the real treasure was the party we were having all along. That is right, yeah, that's right. And then we continue on with our traditional floats from there, where we go to, we have our New Orleans float that celebrates kind of the music of New Orleans. We also then have our King and Queen float, and as Laura talked about, we have our King Gator float, who got a really beautiful makeover. If you're familiar to come to the parade, he is truly a finale piece this year. It looks fantastic. And some of the other pieces up front, like our tidal float, riverboat, they're going to have some nods to us celebrating 25 years of Mardi Gras that are pretty amazing. I'm really proud of this year's parade. I think you have a ton of fun when you see the costumes and all the finished floats. They're just phenomenal this year. And of course, the other good part of Mardi Gras is what's killing me right now. It's that smell of that food. I am so hungry. So I'm going to turn things over to Chef Ron to talk about all the awesome food we're going to have this year.
All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming out. As was just said, food is a huge part of Mardi Gras. This year we have a lot of great treats in store for you. 25th year, we're doing some different things. We're going to do one thing in our French Quarter where all of our tents are. We're going to do a revolving menu. So every 2 weeks we have a different menu offering that our guests are going to be able to come back to and look forward to. This is going to be something that we want our guests to repeat. Come back, we got something new for you as well. We have a lot of our old favorites, our gumbos, our po' boys. We also are bringing back the Bayou Boil that was very successful last year. We also have added our feast and floats. This is going to be in the La Bamba courtyard. It's going to be a special viewing area for our parade. As well, there's going to be a dessert reception and some savory bites also. We do have a great dessert offering at Schwab's Pharmacy, our floats, some really creative ice cream floats that we're going to do. So thank you again very much and enjoy.
So in the merchandise division, when we first started discussing what are we going to do for Mardi Gras this year, it's the 25th year, we knew we had to do something that was pretty big and pretty special. And thinking about what we've done in the past for other large events, the tribute store came to mind. And if you're familiar, the HHN tribute store keeps growing every year for us, not only in size but also in popularity. And we said, okay, 25th year Mardi Gras, we've got to do the tribute store. So we started getting everybody excited. We started telling everyone, hey, we're going to do the tribute store Mardi Gras style this year. Everybody said, go for it, let's do it. And we got back to the office and we're like, okay, what are we going to do? We didn't have a design yet. So we started thinking about the event as a whole and what it means to us. And Mardi Gras is about the parade, the beads, the mass, the entertainment, the food, all of that is great, but we're already doing that in the park. So what could we do different in the store that would provide an extra layer of experience for our guests so they could see something in here that they can't see anywhere else in the park? So thinking about, Mardi Gras in New Orleans, and if you've ever been to the city, that whole city has a really strange vibe to it. And I don't know how to explain it. There's this, it's almost like an edge that city has. And we figured that's what we need in the stores. We needed an edge. And depending on where you're at in the city, that edge could be a little bit on the darker side. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a big Halloween fan. My whole team is big fans of HHN and Halloween. So if we have an opportunity to work on anything remotely like HHN, we're going to go for it. So you notice on the design of this store, you came in through a jazz parlor, not unlike the ones you would find in the French Quarter, like Preservation Hall is one of the most famous ones. And then we brought you through the parlor, and then we threw you right into a cemetery. So we got dark pretty quick on you. And this particular cemetery is modeled after the Lafayette Cemetery, which is in the Garden District of New Orleans. And it is a walled-in, couple hundred-year-old cemetery. They've got the tall mausoleums. A lot of them are old and they're cracked open. You can kind of see into the tombs. So it's pretty spooky being in there. And it's almost like a maze. So as you're going around, you may think you're alone, but you can hear other voices because there's other tourists in there. And it's just a whole creepy vibe that's going on in there.
As you see, I don't know if many of you have been to Halloween Horror Nights. I know Rob had mentioned probably in the first room. That's been so successful for us. We wanted to introduce the same kind of level of awareness and experience for Mardi Gras for the first time ever. So as you see here, this is just an experience, also celebrating an extension of all the different and unique merchandise that we create year after year. The big challenge every year that we have for all of our events, especially Mardi Gras, is how can we create something unique and special year after year that commemorates the specific event like Mardi Gras. So this year we did a throwback to the old Bayou, the King Gator float that's been so popular all these years for merchandise as well. So we've actually captured a number of the trends and the different textures and color palettes that's been so popular over the years, all the way back since the late 80s. So as you see here, in this particular room is a little bit of sampling of everything from apparel, t-shirts, drinkware, tons of masks, collectible items. You also have tons of beads. So there's a lot of different offerings for all our different guests that also commemorate the extension of your experience when you go home after Universal Studios for the Mardi Gras.